It's funny about a long time ago, I talk about flags and borders and your Pledge of Allegiance and your national anthems. And finally, somebody has some sense to realize your Pledge of Allegiance, your anthems, and you're proud to be, proud to be a slave. So I was watching this black lady telling it, somebody in America once is late. I noticed this saying in America, if you don't like our country, then get the fuck out. What kind of fucking sick fuck would say that? I bet it's like that for all the countries in this planet. There's only one planet. Countries divide us. Flags divide us. Your anthem and your pledge divides us as human beings. But it's like, what? You talk about divide and conquer. And somehow divide and conquer is basically you separate all the countries with flags, states, anthems, and pledge. And you have to ask that question. Are you human? If you're telling a person to pack up and get out of the country, are you really human? Are you really compassionate? Do you really have any compassion or love at all? It's funny. America was built by black people. Yeah, America was built by black people, actually. Because the white people are too damn lazy to not fucking build it themselves, So they had to use the black slaves, As for free labor, for crops, they used black people, And I talked about the genocide of the Native Americans, that these white people claim that they discovered this country, but really, in reality, their history is all upside down and backwards, They never discovered nothing, the white people. They really never discovered anything. They just take your culture and they get all the credit for it. Basically, that's how it works. Because I was a native in one of my lives, I was a native in one of my lives. You have to be in a native perspective. You have to look at the native perspective of how they were defending their country. They were defending their country from greedy ass fucks. Spaniards, you got the Spanish people. They're the same way. They're no different from the white people. But it's like, yeah. This planet, no one really founded this planet, really, to be honest. No one. This planet was never founded by anybody. You're just put here as slaves. That's all you are. You're just put here as slaves. You never found this planet. You never invented the wheel. You never invented the wheel. You know that. You kind of like stolen the wheel, if you think about it. You stolen the wheel and took the credit for it. Hell, you stole the technology, the technology that's already here on this planet. You've stolen all the technology and you don't even want to share it, And we would have free energy. We would have free housing. We wouldn't live like this, because all that technology, those ancient technology, they're so environmentally friendly. These stupid fucks call it primitive, These stupid fucks will call it primitive, but they're not really primitive artifacts, It could change this whole planet. These ancient technology. It could change the whole planet, change everything how you see, and there would not religious people will be gone for good, actually, because it changes the history altogether all at one time, It's funny, one lady, a black lady in America, and I'm betting a white woman or a white guy telling the black lady, get the fuck out of the country, if you don't like it here. Well, why don't I look at this way, at another perspective. If you're a native, a native would tell the white people to get the fuck out of the country and stop taking all the resources and stop taking all the fucking stop being fucking greedy, and coexist with the environment. I'd rather have a native to be a president than have some white rich asshole, to be honest. Because all the politicians, they're really corrupt. They've been corrupt since America was born. They've been corrupt since America was born, and they're still corrupt. So I'm saying, this black lady coming out, I shared her. She's on, I shared her on, what you call it? On, what the fuck? I forgot what it's called. A Messenger, yeah. I shared her on Messenger, black lady. I mean, have you guys tortured black people enough? Actually, I'm just saying, have you people tortured black people enough? Your education is corrupt. Your education is fucking corrupt. It's not, and it's like there's no equality in your education at all, to be honest, And base your education is designed to be you're a slave once you get out, because that's it. You just throw them out, and they're on their own, and they have to go fend for themselves to find a job, which is pretty backwards to do. So that's what I call a sick society, This is a sick society. It's pretty racist, and it's pretty obvious racism is still here in America. Racism is still here in America, and it never stops. It will never stop. It'll just keep going, because these one particular group of people don't want to change. They want to keep it this way. Keep everybody else should suffer. Even and one thing is bad. They keep their own kind suffering too. They keep their own kind. It's funny. White people keep their own kind suffering. They're backstabbers. That's why you live in a country full of backstabbers. You're criminals, you know? Who invented criminals, you know? Why don't we go back to the slave days? That's where criminals came from. You guys molded these people. You molded them. You created them to become who they are. You created them and who they are, and you won't admit it, that you created them, who they are, you know? From the day they came on this land, the day you killed all the natives, you molded them in your religious belief. And you call yourself the founders, you know? So I'm just saying, you know, black people didn't, you know, to me, I always thought, I thought about it. It's like, if you go back in the past, and black people always been right about what they say. And white people just seem like they just like to ignore that shit, you know? But it's true. They've been molded. They've been created. Been brainwashed, you know? Yeah, on this land that we live on, you know? Just like Africa, you know, you got the English people over there molding them, the Africans, you know. You wonder why the Africans are so desperate and so wanting to do anything to get a buck, you know, because they've been molded, they've been created, you know, they've been, I mean, that's, how do you control a herd of animals, you know? How do you control cows? You lead them, and you lead them to their slaughter, you know? Just Africans, you're just leading yourself to slaughter. That's all you're doing. You can't take care of your own selves. It's funny, they're not self-reliant anymore because they're so civilized, you know? You believe in civilized nation. Civilized nation don't give a fuck about you, you know? I really don't give a fuck about civilized nation and civilized people. Civilized people are the most negative people that I ever seen, you know, to be civilized. Because they mold you in desperation. They put fear on you. They feed off your fear, civilized people. You know, that's all they do. They feed off your fear in a civilized nation, you know? And then they destroy, and they don't want to fix what they destroy. That's how civilized nations are. You know, they don't really want to fix their problems. They want to make your problems even worse so they can make profit off your own problems, you know? So I'm saying, you have to ask this question. Do you really want to be civilized? With civilized people, they separate, segregate. Racism, criminalize. They're just pure greed, and nothing has changed in a civilized nation. They just make life more harder. So, you know, that flag and that pledge, you know, and your so-called freedom is slavery. You live in a slave country. That's all you are. You're just a fucking slave for these greedy ass, rich asshole control freaks. And they don't want to make your life any easier. They want to make it harder. So I'm being blunt and straightforward. If you don't like me, so fuck off, you know. Have a nice day.